Hi there YouTubers, this is another video from your friendly neighborhood reviewer, Evelyn. Today's video will be delving right back into another true crimes video. This true crimes video is be about in the UK. It's about when neighbor disputes go wrong, really wrong, and end badly on both sides and people around. So the headline reads again from our trusty source, the Daily Mail. Parking row neighbor's knife massacre caught on CCTV. Court sees horrific video of off-duty cop battling revenge-fueled killer with a plank of wood after he stabbed to death father of three, then attacked second neighbor in a frenzy. They caught on CCTV camera of this off-duty cop trying to subdue the attacker. So the article reads, "This is the moment an off-duty police officer used a plank of wood to battle a knife man attempting to massacre his neighbors amid a long-running parking row that culminated in a father of three being stabbed to death." A parking row. For all those international people, when we talk about row, we talk about arguments, disputes, when they say here in the UK, when they say parking row, basically fighting over a parking spot. So the article carries on to say, Can Arslan is on trial for allegedly murdering Matthew Boorman, who was stabbed 27 times on his front lawn in Gloucestershire after returning home for work. 2 other people were wounded in the incident. Bristol Crown Court heard 52-year-old Arslan was fueled by anger and revenge against his fellow residents in his village of Walton Cardiff near, I can't pronounce this word, but Bury. I'll highlight this here in the video. They were said to have been trying to evict him for several years due to his antisocial behavior. Okay, the plot thickens here. Ahead of what the jury heard was a massacre on October the 5th, 2021. Let's have a look. Despite repeated warnings to police and his victims, including telling one officer of his murderous intentions the day before, Arslan allegedly carried out the attack. So this is bad police work. If a crazy guy is saying you're going to murder someone, you better take it seriously. The entire incident was caught on CCTV and doorbell cameras, some which have now been released by police to the media after being shown to the jury. Okay, we're gonna have a look at the CCTV footage here. Now watch the full video here, and I'm going to insert it here. My God. My God. Fucking hell. Okay, this footage is like 1 minute. It's just basically the attacker with a cigarette in his mouth. I'm going to insert the video in this. I'm going to insert the clip here in the video, and this off-duty police guy going up with a big plank of wood, as you can clearly see. And the guy, the crazy guy, he doesn't give a shit. He's just going around with a cigarette. He's had enough. He knows he's going to jail. Oh my God. Fucking hell. Oh my God. The fuck. Oh my God. So basically, like, this guy just lighting a cigarette and there's other people around with weapons and stuff. Jesus Christ. The footage focuses on the aftermath of Arslan fatally wounding Mr. Boorman, 43. His wife suffered a deep wound to her thigh as she tried to save her husband. Video footage then shows him going into another neighbor, Peter Marsden, who also been involved in a legal fight to get him out of his home and attacking him too. My God. And then in the description here shows the CCTV shows Arslan walking into his kitchen and then Arslan being forcibly removed, but not before he had stabbed Mr. Marsden a total of 8 times. The court heard Arslan also had another neighbours in his side, was stopped by Habigo heroes who gathered in the street to corner him until the police arrived. One of the men was an off-duty police officer, Steve Wilkinson, who is seen on the camera armed with a piece of wood and hitting Arslan with it to try to stop the attack. Oh, okay, now I get it. Now I get why this off-duty police cop was there. He was basically a neighbour when he heard the disturbance. The trial heard Arslan had targeted neighbours who had complained about his antisocial behaviour and wanted him evicted in a long-running dispute over a shared driveway. CCTV also showed Arslan sitting on Mr. Moore's body and lighting what witnesses said was a Triumph cigarette. Oh my god, I feel sorry for everybody involved, but it's just for everybody to understand, in the UK, knife attacks happen more, but in this kind of situation, it's kind of seems out of the blue. During police interview, Mr. Marsden told police that he had to go back to work and was making dinner when Arslan stormed into his kitchen with a knife and stabbed him 8 times. So the victim said, "I was expecting my son to come home and heard a big bang on the gate against the wall. The next thing, the dogs were barking their head off. Then I saw Mr. Arslan come across the grass and then came into his house." Basically, the victim was talking about how Mr. Arslan, the suspect, the perpetrator and the murderer, just came in looking as crazy, really crazy. And the article talks about how the victim tried to take care of his wounds. The suspect, the murderer, just kept on coming out. And then the last thing that Mr. Marsden, the victim, said that he remembered of the incident was lying on the floor and looking up in the ceiling with people on top of him. And he wasn't aware of anything else or what would happen. So when the police finally arrived, that Arslan, the attacker, had dropped the knife when the red dot of the taser was pointed at the center of the body. The court was told that when Arslan was being booked in for custody after his arrest, he said to the officers, "I told the police I was going to murder him. I murdered him." You let me know if it was bad police work, yet they could have prevented a murder. The court also heard he told officers, "I warned you people were going to die tonight. More people are going to die tonight. There are contracts on their head. I told you I was going to murder him. I was a sniper in the army and I told him not to mess with me. I killed 50 people in the Kurdish army." Arslan was taken to hospital and was interviewed there about who else was in danger. This was played to the jury, but was largely illegible due to the background noise. So the trial also heard the statement from PC Gregory Jones, who had been investigating a counter-allegation of racism made by Arslan against Matthew Boorman since May 2021. He said he spoke to both Arslan and his wife Louise the night before the killing, where he was verbally abused by the defendant. He said, "Mr. Arslan stated, 'I am a hitman, you will see,' and went on to refer to a billionaire cousin in Dubai and his private jet. He said that he was on heavy medication and will sort his neighbor out himself. He stated, 'I will murder him,' which I believed referred to the neighbor Matt Boorman, although his name was not mentioned. He would go on about watches and money, LA and private jets. The verbal abuse continued and he was incoherent." So basically in the article it talks about, the policemen who were investigating beforehand couldn't carry on talking to Mr. Arslan, the attacker, because he was just basically out of his mind. And he said that following the chat, he entered the information into the Gloucestershire police system, known as Operational Policing Marker, to raise concern that he said he wanted to murder his neighbor and was taking things to his own hands. But the unfortunate thing is, when this policeman entered this to keep this guy, marked as a potential threat, that this went live at 3:40 p.m. the following day, less than 2 hours before the stabbing took place. So the article goes on to say that there's been historic disputes with Mr. Arslan, the attacker, against all the neighbors. Basically, he was just one of these people that were off his head and our neighbors just had enough. So sad basically that the wife has to now live with her husband dead, and the photos here is and they talk about in the article that for 12 years Arslan had been bullying all his neighbors for 12 years. So the end result of this article, the guy's arrested, but the police acted too late in my opinion. They should have acted really early if somebody legitimately saying I'm going to kill him. I can understand like in a fit of anger if a legitimate thing happened and you tell the other person I'm gonna kill you but you don't really mean it. But there's the other part where if the guy himself is verbally abusive, disturbing everybody, that's very different. And they talk about the day before the attack, a police officer had phoned Arslan about the complaint that he made also previously, and informed the officer he will sort his neighbour out himself, and adding he would murder him, the jury heard. Prosecutor Kate Burner QC said, the prosecution says that this was a premeditated killing carried out in retribution and anger, and his defendant is guilty of murder. Arslan was eventually tasered by police and arrested. He has admitted attempted murder, grievously bodily harm, GBH, and with intent and affray, but denies murders on the grounds of diminished responsibility. You tell me, like, if you're determined criminally insane, should you get more leniency? This was a gross injustice of support that the neighbor should have had, and the clear mental health issues that this guy had. When I put in the CCTV footage here, just to let you know, the guy was just going around and breaking into neighbors' houses and just trying to kill everybody, the gist of it. Anyway guys, this is the end of the video. Let me know what you think, especially people that live in the UK, and leave your comments, thoughts down below. And if you'd like me to review any other or talk about any other true crimes within your area, let me know, put a comment down below. But as I leave you, and also one more thing, thank you to everybody that subscribed. I'm so grateful for it. Like, let's help grow the channel. This channel is, it's really for everybody. I tried to cover everything that anybody would like. So, as I leave you, stay safe. Bye.